Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to discuss differences between quantitative and qualitative research or practical research 1. Ako nga pala si Teacher Saya sa high school teacher, Canada City Senior High School Schools Division of Canada City. So let's start. Okay, so for today we're going to discuss differences between quantitative and qualitative research, and what subject code is here. Well, the reference is from practical research for senior high school 1 qualitative. Start. Here are the objectives of the lesson. First, to understand what are the broad categories of research. Second, similarities of quantitative and qualitative research. Then we'll explain qualitative research, then followed by quantitative research, and we'll see the differences between the qualitative and the quantitative research. So first, which among these words can you consider quantitative or qualitative? You may post this video and write your answer in the comment section. So, if you notice, red, sweet, cold, and fresh are qualitative in nature. If you're talking about a fruit like an apple, red is a color, sweet is a taste, cold is temperature, and fresh is basically the freshness of the apple. Well, when we say a box of blank or a box of apple or 50 pesos or 10 kilograms, these are numerical values for an apple, for example. So it is quantitative. So let's talk about broad categories of research. First, we have quantitative, and second, we have qualitative. Later, we'll explain what are the difference between the two. Okay? So if you notice the icon here, quantitative is more like a graph, while the qualitative is more on conversation bubbles. So when we talk about qualitative research, it is based on an approach which sees the individual and the world around him or her as interconnected. So to make it simple, okay, a person, let's say ikaw, you're observing yourself, you are connected to the things around you. Okay? So everything that is happening to you is because of the surroundings that you are going around. Okay? That is one of the main concerns of qualitative research. It sees social reality as unique, and therefore human behavior can only be understood by focusing on the events based on their meanings for the people involved. Let's say you want to understand stress in school. Okay? You cannot talk about stress in school if you are not talking to teachers, if you are not talking to students. Okay? So, if you want to get a real answer for that particular topic, you need to talk to individuals that are related to it. Kasi you will look at the behavior, why they think they are stressed. Okay? Why stress is happening at school, for example. Okay? And third, it is what people experience, how they do and perform, as well as think and feel. The most important word here is experience. Qualitative research focuses on the experience of each individuals who are participants of your research. While quantitative research, on the other hand, it is a process of collecting and analyzing numerical data. Please take note of the term numerical data. It can be used to find patterns and averages, make predictions, test causal relationships, and generalize results to wider population. Another wider population. We're using numbers. The more data that we have on a bigger population or sample populations that we have, the better the generalization that we could get. Okay? We can predict what will happen, and we can see the relationships between each variables. Okay? It is a opposite of qualitative research, which involves collecting and analyzing non-numerical data. Okay? non-numerical data in terms of observation. For example, okay, attitudes cannot be quantified. Okay, so the term here, we need to quantify things in quantitative research. And third, it is widely used in the natural and social sciences like biology, chemistry, psychology, economics, sociology, and marketing, and many more. Okay, those are just some fields that uses quantitative research. So let's see at the similarities between the two. First, empirical research is aimed at creating new knowledge. So, because the two, according to Bachman, 2009, okay, the two are empirical by nature. It means paikot-ikot lang. Okay? Not just paikot-ikot with knowledge. It is a cycle wherein you research new things, you prove, then you research again. Okay? You create new knowledge because of research. Research creates knowledge by observing phenomena. Okay? If you notice something on your area, like for example, if you're a senior high school, if you saw something that makes you curious, you may study it, you may research it. Okay? Then you can give answers why these are happening or this is happening. Third, all the entities of interest like attitudes, motives, and learning can be inferred observing what people do or say in each settings. Okay. Let's say we have a phenomena like dropout. Bakit dumadami ang dropout? Okay, you observe that. Okay, reasons kung bakit nag-drop out. You can do it qualitative or in quantitative. Sorry. All researchers are concerned about the universality of ideas or expressing an idea in a general statement. That is, they desire to find meaning for the research results beyond a particular study. So, as a researcher, you want to get the answers. You want to get the main idea why these are happening. Then you may convey it through your conclusions and conclusions. So let's talk about qualitative research now. Qualitative research, it is primarily an exploratory research. So if you want to know something first, you use qualitative research. Okay? It is used to give an understanding of underlying reasons, opinions, and motivations. Okay, let's say dropout. Bakit nagda-drop out ang mga students? Ano mga reasons? Ano sa tingin nyo ang idea ng mga teachers sa dropout? That is opinion. Okay? Pwede rin pumasok ang motivation sa bakit sila nagda-drop out. Okay? Those are just some na pwede nyong gawin. Okay? For qualitative research if you're at school. The investigation provides insights into the problem or helps to develop ideas or hypotheses for potential quantitative research. Let's say, sinabi is, nag-drop out sila because they are working. Now, that is your hypothesis based on your investigation in qualitative research. You can continue your research in quantitative. You will test your hypothesis na nag-drop out sila because of work. You may survey everyone on your school or yung mga nag-drop out, you may survey them and see if the reason is work nga ba. Okay? Then you will prove your hypothesis then. It is also used to uncover trends in thought and opinions and dig deeper into the problem. Let's say, magandang problem ngayon. For example, teenage pregnancy. Okay? You may look deeper, okay, by simply interviewing those individuals and see why things like teenage pregnancy happens. Okay? Anong opinion nila? Ano iniisip nila? Okay? Then, the sample size is typically small. You just only need 10, 20 possible, okay, for interview purposes, kaya mas konti siya. It is more flexible, allowing more naturalness and acclimation for the interaction and collaboration between researcher and participant. Okay, there is what we call participant observation, wherein you need to live with the participants. Okay, para malaman mo ano yung nangyayari, paano nila napipil yung scenario yon. Just like in documentaries. Okay, They tried to live, for example, sa ilalim ng tulay para malaman nila, ma-express nila talaga ang nararamdaman ng mga taong nakatira sa ilalim ng tulay. Okay? That's simple. Pero, matrabaho siya. Natutusin. 5 qualitative features. First, studying the meaning of people's lives under real-world conditions. People will not be limited by the confines of a laboratory. Okay, sa qualitative research, this according to Yin, 2011. Okay, mas maganda mo observe ang tao and its natural surroundings. Okay, real-world scenario. At dun mo makuha yung talagang meaning kung bakit ganun ang kanilang ginagawa. Representing the views and perspective of the people or participants of the study in the results of the research mirror the values and meanings of the people who live them, not by the researcher. Okay, you are focusing on the participant, okay, not you as a researcher. You focus your research on the participant itself. Covering the contextual within which people live, the social institution and environmental conditions within which live, they may influence all human events. Let's say, for example, sabi mo is, mahirap sa senior high school. Mahirap ang mag-aral ng senior high school. Yet, you are focusing on public school. Has limited resources. Iba yung magiging result if you are going to study the life of a senior high school on a private school. That would be a different scenario because it is a different environmental condition, okay? Different social institution. Okay? So, depende yan sa kung saan yung tao. Okay? Let's say, if you're going to study the life of a senior high school sa school ko ngayon, which is Angeles City Senior High School, it would be different with my former school, Sapang Bato National High School. Okay? Why? Angeles City Senior High School is situated within the city proper of Angeles, while Sapang Bato National High School is in a mountain near Clark. Okay? Iba ang buhay ng mga taong nasa city proper, sinasa bundok, even though they're in the same city. Okay? Iba ang mindset nila compared to those who are in the city proper. Okay? That's what. Contributing insights into existing or emerging concepts may help or explain human behavior. Research can be instances for developing new concepts. So, insights. Ano ang idea nila sa mga nangyayari or dun sa possible lumabas na concepts or let's say biglang nangyaring event, bakit ganito? Okay, so merong idea ang tao dyan. Striving to use multiple sources of evidence is better than relying on a single source alone. So hindi lang isang tao kailangan mo, multiple participants. Okay, pero syempre, mas konti compared to your quantitative research. While quantitative research, it is more often associated with hard data. When we say hard data, these are numerical data. It is used to quantify, that is to put numerical equivalent to findings. So if you notice on the picture, numbers ang usapan. Sa quantitative research, it's more on numbers. It is not limited to mathematics. Then, sometimes you need math to do this one. Okay? Makikita mo na sa numbers. Yun pa lang. Makuha mo na yung result. It is used to quantify the problem by way of generating mathematical data or data that can be transformed into usable statistics. So, basically, ang ating pinaka-tool dito to analyze is stats. Okay? Kaya nga ang practical research 2, ang kanyang prerequisite subject is not practical research 1, but rather statistics and probability. Okay? It quantifies attitudes, opinions, behaviors, and other defined variables and generalized results from a large sample of populations. In comparison with qualitative research, small sample size, while quantitative research is big sample size or large sample size. Eh, paano to? Let's say attitudes. So, attitude yun. You cannot say that mabait is 1, masama is 0. Okay? You will put a Likert scale like 1 to 5. Rate yourself, gano'n ka kabait, 1 to 5. And that is quantitative again, already. Okay? It discusses the quantitative relation between the participants and the researcher. So, itong values na to makakatulong para ma-generalize the researcher yung problem na gusto niya solve from the participants. So, differences nila. Okay? So, first, the purpose. Qualitative is used to understand and interpret social interaction, while quantitative research is to test the hypothesis, look at cause and effect, and make predictions. This hypothesis came from your qualitative research. Okay? You predict what will happen and see why these things happen. Group studied, small and not randomly selected sa qualitative, while quantitative is larger and randomly selected. Variables, study of the whole, not variables sa qualitative, while sa quantitative, specific variables lang ang ating titignan. Type of data collected, sa qualitative, words, images, or objects. We analyze them, while quantitative, numbers and statistics. We quantify them. Excuse me. Forms of data collected, qualitative data such as open-ended responses, open-ended responses, interviews, participants of observation, field notes, and reflections. For qualitative research, while quantitative research are more on quantitative data based on precise measurements using structured and validated data collection instruments. Type of data analysis, for qualitative, patterns, features, and themes, while quantitative, statistical relationships. Objectivity and subjectivity, qualitative is more on the feelings. Okay? Subjective siya. While quantitative is more on objectivity, wherein numbers talaga ang yung basis. Role of the researcher, for qualitative researcher and the biases are known and the participants are known to the researcher. While quantitative researcher and their biases are not known and their participant characteristics are hidden from the researcher. Results, qualitative, particular or specialized findings that is less generalizable, while quantitative, generalizable findings that can be applied to other population. It means, sa qualitative, hindi mo pwedeng ma-apply ito sa parehas na number of persons, clusters of persons on another location. While in quantitative research, you can say na yung generalizable findings natin would be the same or possibly the same with other population with the same criteria. Then, qualitative research under scientific method, it's exploratory or bottom-up, generates new hypothesis or theory from the data collected, while quantitative is more on confirmatory, top-down, by testing the hypothesis and theory with data. Criteria: view of human behavior, qualitative, dynamic, situational, social, and personal, while quantitative, regular, and predictable. Most common research objectives: qualitative, explore, discover, and construct, while quantitative, it describes, explain, and predict. Focus: qualitative, wide-angle lens, examine the breadth and depth of phenomena, while quantitative is narrow lens, test specific hypothesis lang. Okay, if you notice, mas malawak ang sakop ni Quali when it comes to getting an idea on the phenomena. While sa quantitative research, you may test only the hypothesis on a given group of people. Okay? Mas konti ang isipin mo. Pero marami kang population. Okay? Nature of observation. Qualitative research study behavior in the natural environment, while quantitative research on a controlled condition. Okay? Nature of reality. So, qualitative, multiple realities, subjective, while quantitative, single reality, objective. And final report, okay, qualitative research narrative report with contextual description and direct quotation from the research participants, while quantitative research are more on statistical reporting correlations, comparisons of means, and statistical significance of findings. So, what's the main difference of qualitative and quantitative research? You may post this video and write your answer on the comment section down below. Why is it important to know the difference between qualitative and quantitative research? Okay, again, you may write your answer in the comment section below. And that's it, guys. So I hope you've learned something on the difference between qualitative and quantitative research. We'll see you again next time for another topic for Practical Research 1.